I'm Tim. I'm 35.
And I'm Hope, and I'm 28.
Before, I'd never been exposed to any of the disciplines. And so what I'm now going through formally, Steve had introduced me to years ago, and really I'd never, I remember the first time he talked to me about prayer, and he challenged me to pray for 15 minutes. I was like, I've grown up in church my whole life, and I've never prayed probably for more than 5 minutes in a row. So I was like, 15 minutes, that sounds crazy to me. And so that was kind of my life before, and the idea of he introduced, like, we're gonna work up to praying for an hour straight, and I thought, there's no way I'm gonna be able to pray. What would I pray about for an hour straight? And that was kind of who I was. I had a shallow knowledge of Scripture, had a shallow knowledge of prayer, but through this material and really beginning to practice the disciplines of prayer, which is one of the very first disciplines in D60, God's really just transformed my life. It went from me not praying 5 minutes to there's been seasons in my life as I've been really pursuing the Lord where it seems like I can't get enough prayer in a day and would wake up to try to spend 2 or 3 hours in prayer because I needed it that much, and it became such an important discipline in my life. And so prayer has become huge, but it started with a 15-minute segment that grew to a 30-minute segment, that grew to a 45-minute segment, that grew to an hour, and then from there it just became just kind of a day-to-day part of my life. And so that has been one of the biggest impacts that D60 has had on my life, has really just been in prayer and how I practice prayer on a daily basis.
Before learning about these disciplines, I was familiar with some, and to some degree, I had grown up in the church similarly to Tim, but I was still very young and immature in my faith and just in life in general, and so what these practices ultimately did, especially the practice of prayer and journaling, for example, just ultimately drew me into deeper relationship with the Lord, and that idea of relationship being so key, because it took me from a point of just sort of cold and stark routine versus this vibrant love relationship with the Creator of the world, who I had the privilege now of intimately interacting with on a daily basis.
If I could describe D60 in one word, it would be transformational. In my life, I'm a night and day different person than I used to be before experiencing these disciplines.